Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday Unlock live stream. We are here every single Tuesday, bringing you all things real estate. And I have with me our student success manager and sidekick, and really fun friend to work with, Miss Lizzie Ross. If you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll get into our topic.
Hey everybody, like Jessie said, I am the superhero, she's the sidekick, and I like to say that I'm the boss and she's just here. She's the face of it all. My role is, I'm an investor here in Columbus, but I'm also our student success manager. So my role is really to ensure that all of our students are crushing it inside of our community, getting all the resources they need, adding the 2 documents that we had on our call today to the resource vault, all that fun stuff. So
doing it all.
Jessie's the brains. I'm the
brawn.
The rest of it.
Yeah. Love it. Well, Lizzie is here today with me to talk about how to build a deal pipeline that will never run dry. That means you have deals coming into your inbox like clockwork, and you don't have to live in that like feast or famine of where your next deal is coming from. So we are going to go over the really 4 sources that you need to keep deals coming in, a system behind those that actually makes it repeatable, right? Because just a bunch of willy-nilly leads aren't going to get you anywhere. You need a system to process those leads. Mm-hmm. And then how to avoid burnout while doing it. And this is coming from someone who has done direct-to-seller marketing for 5 years, and it can really be a drain if you don't have the right system. So we're going to talk about how you can kind of avoid the burnout that could come with that. So this is super interactive. I love to hear from you guys in the comments. If you ask me some questions live or on the replay, we will absolutely answer for you. And if you stay to the end of this one, we have a pretty sweet little freebie that we are going to be giving away. So y'all let me know. For those on right now, just let me know who you are, where you're watching from, if you have any rentals already, and that will kind of help me figure out a little bit how to cater it to you. So just let us know all that in the comments. Would appreciate it. So let's hop in. And really, I kind of want to first define the problem that most of you are facing. And again, if you're in let me know in the comments if this resonates with you, because I can dig into it more. But essentially, you're operating in drought mode. You're relying on one channel. Maybe it's your MLS feed or your real estate agent. You're kind of just hoping for some slam dunk deal to fall into your inbox. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is not how it works. There is some hunting involved. There is some searching. There is some skill to know what you're looking at. And when you come across a good deal, how can you go from new deal to in contract to closed in the shortest amount of time possible, right? So you're relying on that one source. It dries up. And all of a sudden, maybe your favorite wholesaler falls off the face of the earth and they stop doing business. And it happens. Wholesalers love them to death, but there's the big ones out there that you can kind of count on. But outside of that, they're really hit or miss on who's bringing deals at a certain time. So that could happen. So yeah, we just want to make sure that you have a pipeline, that deals are never going to run dry. Cool.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So how do we fix that? We are going to build a pipeline with steady streams flowing into it. And I want to first go over really the 4 methods that we use in my own business and that Lizzie has used to get her rental and to look at quite a few others as well. Yeah. And I want to go through these in kind of easiest to hardest. And when I say easiest, I mean like least time intensive. So the first, of course, is the MLS. Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. Deals are out there, and you know that seller wants to sell because they put their house on the market. By being on the MLS, you already know that they want to sell their house. So You don't have to overcome that hurdle. You're already there. They want to sell, and it's your job, to make an offer that makes sense. Now, MLS, the most people have access to it, right? Like anyone could log on to Zillow.com right now and see every house that's for sale on market. So there's going to be more competition. Now, it's easier to access, more competition. It's a good source. And I want you to use a combination of all of these. So people ask me all the time, oh, do you buy houses off the MLS? I absolutely do. About half the houses we buy are actually off the MLS. So there's deals out there. Next would be wholesalers. Now, Lizzie, how would you define a wholesaler?
Ooh, I would say, the best way you've explained it is it's that like almost middleman. They went out and found the deal, but they're not buying it for themselves. So they're selling their contract that they've arranged with the seller.
Yep. So we like to say there's three parts in three parties, I guess, in a wholesale deal. There is the seller, there's a wholesaler, and then there's you as the buyer. So we call it A, B, and C. There's the A to B contract, which is the purchase and sales agreement. That's between the buyer and the wholesaler. They went out, they did the legwork to put this property under contract at, say, $100,000. And then they don't want to close on it themselves, like Lizzie said. So they're going to turn around and they're going to sell this contract. They're not going to sell the house because that is not legal to sell a house that you do not own. So they're going to sell the contract. And that contract is the assignment agreement. And that is between B and C, which is the wholesaler and the end buyer. You are C in this scenario, okay? You are C. So someone else, and they went out and they did all the legwork for you. They got it under contract for, say, 100. They're going to sell it to you for 110. Wholesaler is going to take their 10K profit for doing all the work, and they are going to let you close on the contract. C, you step into the position as B, and you close as if you were the buyer, right? Mm-hmm. So they did the work for you. Now, it's a little bit of the Wild West. It is a little bit. We have students bring deals all the time from wholesalers, and they're like, they're saying this, and they're saying this, and they're all a little bit different. And it's because each business, each wholesale operation is going to operate under their own set of standards and their own terms of how they run their business. And even one layer further, they're only able to do what the seller will allow. So sometimes you get one walkthrough. Sometimes it's an open house. Sometimes it's unlimited walkthroughs. Sometimes there's earnest money. Sometimes there's not earnest money. It just depends.
Never know.
Yeah. So it's a fantastic tool, being able to work with wholesalers and understanding the ins and outs, because these are deals that are off market. Unlike the MLS, these are not accessible to everyone. You only have access to these wholesale deals if you are on their list, right? Mm-hmm. So I recommend, and I should have said this in the beginning, I recommend anything deal source related, you should create an email address that is specific to deals.
That was a game changer.
Game changer. You want the ability, if you need to turn off deals for any reason, you're on vacation, family emergency, whatever, and you just want to shut that off for a second, you can just turn that email off your phone, whatever. Otherwise, if you give away your actual email address, you are going to have 50 deals a day in your inbox.
Painful.
Yeah. A lot of emails. So start an address, but the way you connect with these wholesalers is you give them your email address. You say, hey, put me on your buyer's list. And they're going to put you on the buyer's list. The next time they have a property in contract, they're going to call you. They're going to text you. They're going to email you. They're going to present the deal, and you can decide if it's something you want to buy or not, right?
I think another big thing too is like once you buy one with them, they're like, oh, Jesse's serious. Oh, Lizzie's serious. When we bought our first rental, literally like 2 days later, the same wholesaler was like, I have another one down the street. I have another one down the block. Like, it just kind of like waterfalled from there.
Super, super relationship based. I have one that hopefully they may be watching. Hopefully we're about to put in contract. And the text I got was, hey, Jesse, we saw that you have purchased 3 deals from us in this same zip code. We are coming to you first.
Dang.
Same zip code. I've done 3. So I hopefully we should be closing on Thursday, and it came in this morning.
Okay, girl,
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, so it's the relationship based with the wholesalers, but it's an incredible source that, remember on the MLS, we said everyone has access. Not everyone has access. It is relationship based. The deals are often gate kept depending on how fast you can close, how fast, but they're good deals. Then we have our third deal source is referrals. These are going to be from your personal network. These are folks that you have worked with or met at the grocery store or got drunk at a bar and told them you buy real estate. Like, there's no limit to who can refer a house to you. In the past, I don't do it now. I need to print some more, but I've had business cards that literally just said, we buy houses with a phone number. I would leave them in checkbooks at restaurants. I would leave them with cashiers at the grocery store. Anyone that I wanted to know I bought houses, and people would send me referrals. Now, they're not just doing it out of the goodness of their heart. Usually it's for 2 reasons. One, it's to help the person selling the house, their cousin, their friend, their mom, someone needs to sell. And so they're trying to solve a problem. Second, what's in it for them? We pay referrals.
Ooh,
I will pay $1,000, $2,000. If it's a really good deal, I'll pay $5,000 for a referral. And so it's a win-win, right?
Do you put that on the business card? Like, are you writing "we buy houses" asterisk?
No asterisk. Other side, will pay $2,500, whatever it is. Nice. And obviously, it only works if we end up buying the house. I'm not going to pay you $2,500 just to send me your cousin's phone number or whatever. But yeah, if we end up buying the house and you send the deal, 100%. Hey, so everyone out there in Columbus, I will pay you $2,500 up to $5,000 if you send me a deal that we close on. I will close fast. I will pay cash, and it will be the easiest thing that you've ever dealt with. So that's my plug, that I buy houses.
And for anybody who watched the case study last week, wasn't that a referral?
That was a referral, and it was a $65,000 flip. It was a $65K flip that came from a referral of someone that I used to work with. So referrals are powerful. If you guys live somewhere that elsewhere for where you invest, it's going to be a little bit harder to get those personal referrals, but you can still be posting on Facebook groups. You can be active in, say, like a buy, sell, trade local Facebook group where you're saying, hey, this is what I do. You can post a lot of places, is what I'm saying. So you don't have to necessarily live in the market you invest in.
Real. Cool.
And then the 4 sources of deals that we're going to talk about today is direct to seller. And that is when, remember we talked about contract A to B, B to C. That is where you're actually, instead of that middleman wholesaler, you're actually going out and you're doing the legwork yourself to market directly to sellers. You've seen the We Buy Houses billboards, the bandit signs, the little signs in the corner of the intersections. You've seen, I'm sure you've received hundreds, if not thousands, of text messages or
sell your house,
phone calls. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the property at blah, blah, blah? You know how I know that it works? Because I don't text anymore. I don't text anymore because it's illegal. But back when texting was still legal, it works. It freaking works. And so you may be thinking, I'm never going to sell my house to one of these people. You guys, if you know my story, I owned 3 properties in Austin at like the height of the most, like when I owned down there. I moved to Ohio. I moved here for a job that turned out to be very demanding. I was looking for some cash. Okay. And I got a call from someone who said, hey, I want to buy your house at X, Y, and Z address. And I entertained it. I sold him the house. I literally sold my house to a wholesaler. Lizzie, I don't even think you know this story.
I didn't know this story.
The second house I sold was from a text message. And so even me as an educated investor, I had 3 rental properties at the time. I was, I was still working for someone else, but I was learning real estate on the side. I still was like, you know what? You are going to make this so easy for me that I'm going to do it. And I did. I literally sold my house to him. So direct to seller, it works. Even when you think it may not work, it freaking works.
Nice. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. First one we sold on the MLS. Second was a wholesaler. And the last one was MLS.
All the Austin ones.
All Austin is closed out. We moved all that money to Ohio.
Yeah. Did you sell your flip down there? That's for another day.
It's different day. Yeah. We have not sold. It's not listed yet. That's why.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So you guys, MLS, wholesale, referral, direct to seller. Direct to seller is going to take the most work. It's also going to get you the best deals. We bought a house direct to seller for $15,000 that was worth $75K as is. It was worth $140 fixed up. Seller called me. She was a fully capable adult. There was no taking advantage. A full grown up, a full decision-making grown up. And her daughter was living there and her daughter wasn't paying rent and she did not want to evict her daughter. And I said, well, what do you think the house is worth? And she said, if I could get $15K out of this house, I would be happy. I think we ended up buying it for like 19. I was like, here's a little bit more. Yeah. And that came direct to seller. It was within 2 hours, the lead came in I had gone to see the house and contract was signed.
And then did you have to file an eviction or did she move out?
$200 she moved out.
Bye.
Yeah. She took her cat with her. I watched her pack it up and they went somewhere else. I don't know. So there is more work involved, but these are going to be your best deals, hands down, for sure.
Nice.
Cool. So you got your email, you got all your deals first to set up, you have leads coming in. You're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with all these leads? So the first thing you do is you actually have to like capture them, right? They can't just all be in a text and an email and whatever. If you have a CRM, if you have a spreadsheet, it doesn't really matter as long as you track. And if it's a deal you're just completely not interested in, obviously don't write it down. That's crazy. But if it's one that you're interested in, maybe it will come about down the road and you want to keep track of it. Collect it in some way. We use RE Simply. I've used Podio. I've used REI Black Book. I've used every single CRM that you can imagine over the years. Honestly, it could just be a spreadsheet. It could just be a folder in your email that you put everything into. So you just want to keep everything in one place. Then after you you capture the lead, you have to qualify it. Not all leads are equal. You have to kind of build a quick filter. So we actually have a 5-minute deal calculator. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is my surprise at the end. I have a 5-minute deal calculator that is going to give you a super, super quick answer on if it's a good deal or not a good deal. So if you guys want that 5-minute deal calculator,
text
what?
Text that number.
Yeah, text that number. It is 614-386-7398. What?
614-368.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's so tiny. Okay. Lizzie, what's the phone number?
614-368-7391.
There you go.
See, my cell phone right here.
This is why Lizzie's in charge. So you guys text that number and it will it'll come to our team. We'll get you over that 5-minute deal calculator and then a bunch of other goodies that come along with it. We have really cool little freebie we're about to launch. So you got to know very quick, is this a deal or not a deal? Because you're going to end up wasting a ton of time just sorting through a bunch of riffraff, right? You need to filter on timeline, motivation, price range, property condition, all the things that are important to you as an investor that fit into your buy box. Now, once you have a deal that you're like, okay, this could be a good one, you have to nurture that. If it's on the MLS, you don't really have a lot of nurture, right? Because you know they already want to sell. But if it's wholesaler, and again, not a ton of nurture there because the wholesaler is doing a lot of the work for you. That's the fee that you're paying is for them to do all this work for you. And then, referral or direct to seller, those are going to take some more nurture where you're touching base, depending on the urgency of the seller, maybe daily, maybe every 3 days, maybe once a week. On a long-term follow-up, at least every 30 days. Now, depending on what CRM you're using, this could easily be automated, all these touch points. Obviously, they can't automate you picking up the phone and calling. So there is some element of kind of work involved, but we try to make it as simple as possible.
What would you say the longest lead time for you for nurturing would be?
Oh, I've closed deals 2 to even 3 years later.
I'm trying to remember because Megan just did this where she nurtured about one. She just went a contract on Thursday last week, yesterday.
Yeah. That's one of our students, Megan. It had been a couple months at least that she was talking to this older seller. Yeah. And she ended up getting the property in contract just last week, and it's going to be, $40K flip. So it should be good. And it's because you can't just talk to them one time and think that it's going to be solved that day. You're going to, the 15K 2-hour, that's an outlier. Can it happen? Of course. But for the most part, you're going to be nurturing people, making sure that you're on their timeline, that you are available when they're actually ready to sell. Cool. So you've captured the lead, you've pre-qualified it, you've nurtured them if they're not ready quite yet, and now you have to make the offer. So you always bring it back to kind of a clear next step. We just need to come see the property. We will close on your timeline. We will pay all your closing costs. We will let you leave anything you don't want to take behind. So we like to say the lingo, take what you want, leave the rest. And that is enticing. That is very enticing to sellers. The one that Megan's doing right now, I think she's actually helping the gentleman with the U-Haul to move. He wants to move to Florida. So she's working with him kind of above and beyond those initial steps because your job is to make it easy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Think about how fun that is for you as a buyer when you get all their stuff to go through.
You get all their stuff. You get all the treasures.
Fun fact, everybody. Jessie is a troll and she takes all of their stuff.
I do.
She's a little raccoon.
I need to make an album of all the treasures I've gotten from houses. There's a lot. There's some good stuff. We just got like a brand new bicycle.
I personally watched her take a trunk full of stuff from a house 2 weeks ago. And I personally took a TV from the same house.
One of my favorite moments, and I've told this story before, is Brad Clarizio. He's my real estate agent. He was walking a house with me. You guys, your real estate agent should, if they're going to sell it for you on the backside of a flip, they should be involved from day one. So he walked this house before we ever started construction, and it was still filled with the seller stuff. And we both had just like handfuls of stuff. And we're like fumbling, and we're like locking up the door. And he just looks at me and he goes, "We're both millionaires." And we're like, just like, I had a fireproof safe with me and like all this. Yeah. So, hey, you can never be too wealthy for some treasures.
So funny. That's why you're millionaires. This is how. Because
exactly right. Yeah, they go hand in hand. So, to kind of summarize that last little section, consistency beats intensity every single time. If you are consistent with this and you're not just, let me find a bunch of deals in 30 days, you can't. You have to consistently have the deals coming in your inbox.
Love that.
Yes. Every single day. So let's talk about an action plan. How are you going to take everything you've learned today and actually go out and get some deals? I'm going to give you a 7-day challenge. I'm here every single week. So I want to hear back from everyone next week, 2:00 Tuesday, on your challenge. I want you to currently look at all the location, like everywhere the deals are coming from in your own business. Okay. Pick the strongest lead source and double down. Mm-hmm. Is that MLS? Could you expand your search radius a little bit? Could you maybe fiddle with the price? Like look at just a different price range. Maybe pick a couple zip codes that you haven't looked at before. Double down on your strongest. Second is pick your weakest lead source and take one step to improve it. Maybe 2 or 3 wholesalers and they bring you, 2, 3, 4 deals a week, but let's double down. Let's get you on 10 wholesale buyers lists, 15, 20. Gosh, if I think of how many lists I'm on, it's a lot. It's a lot of lists. And some days this wholesaler has the best and the next day it's this one. So you don't know that unless you're on the list. So pick your strongest, double down, pick your weakest, take one step to improve it, and then set up a basic follow-up sequence in your CRM or even a Google Sheet. If it's Google Sheet, it can't really be automated. You're going to need to go out and do that yourself. So yeah, just that's my challenge for you. Y'all, let me know in the comments if you're going to do this challenge, if you're going to take it serious. Lizzie, are you going to do the challenge?
Oh, I'm probably going to do the challenge.
You better do the challenge. Lizzie got her first rental a couple of months ago. No.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. So I'm really starting to get on her about buying the next one.
She did, in fact, tell me today that I have to get another rental before I can have another baby. So come to Jessie for life advice.
Yeah. I'm like, before you have another child, you need at least one more rental. So not an HR violation at all. For sure.
I'm the HR manager, everybody. So.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. Y'all, thank you so much for being here. And like I said, I do have a freebie little giveaway for you. So 614-368, thank you, 7391. And we're going to get you over that freebie where we're going to go over a bunch of deal sources. I actually give you all of my lenders. I give you the 5-minute deal calculator that we've been talking about. I give you final payment checklists, like move-in ready checklists. I give you all sorts of stuff all in the same freebie. So go ahead and shoot us a text, and I will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Yeah.